Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Oleksandr Syrskyi said that since the beginning of 2024, the Russian army has lost 591,950 soldiers in the war against Ukraine. In 1 year and 4 months, Russian losses in terms of personnel have amounted to almost 600,000 people, he noted. The general emphasized that the defense forces of Ukraine continue to destroy the occupying Russian forces, bringing Ukraine closer to a just peace. Syrskyi thanked Ukrainian soldiers for their resilience and effective combat performance. Russia has lost 951,960 troops in Ukraine since the beginning of its full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022, the General Staff of Ukraine's Armed Forces reported on April 30. The number includes 1,100 casualties that Russian forces suffered over the past day. According to the report, Russia has also lost 10,729 tanks, 22,353 armored fighting vehicles, 46,611 vehicles and fuel tanks, 27,091 artillery systems, 1,374 multiple launch rocket systems, 1,146 air defense systems, 370 airplanes, 335 helicopters, 34,289 drones, 28 ships and boats, and 1 submarine. Besides, North Korea has already lost about 4,700 troops, including wounded and killed, during fighting in Russia's Kursk region, according to Reuters. According to South Korean intelligence, a total of 15,000 soldiers from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea have been deployed by Russia to fight in the Kursk region. North Korea has lost approximately 4,700 troops, including 600 dead. It is also noted that in exchange for sending troops and supplying weapons to Russia, the DPRK received assistance from Moscow in the form of spy satellites, drones, and anti-aircraft missiles. After 6 months of participation in the war, the North Korean military has become less inept, and its combat capability has significantly improved as it becomes accustomed to using new weapons such as drones, said Lee Song-kwian, a member of the Parliamentary Intelligence Committee. Song-kwian also added that the bodies of deceased DPRK soldiers are cremated on the territory of Russian Kursk before being sent back to their homeland. About 600 North Korean soldiers have been killed in Russia's war against Ukraine. This number was named by South Korean lawmaker Lee Sun-kun, citing intelligence agency data, Reuters writes. He detailed that the current losses of the DPRK troops are estimated at 4,700 people, including about 600 killed. The bodies of those killed were cremated in Kursk, and then the remains were brought to the DPRK, he said. Lee Song-kun added that since the beginning of the year, about 2,000 soldiers have been returned to North Korea, who are likely being held in isolation in Pyongyang. According to the legislator, soldiers from the DPRK have shown signs of improving their combat capabilities. Recall that there are approximately 15,000 North Koreans fighting on the Russian side. In the summer of 2024, Russia and the DPRK signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement, which provided for mutual assistance in the event of an armed attack. And already in the fall, South Korean intelligence reported that the DPRK sent 3,000 troops to the Russian Federation to participate in the war against Ukraine. These troops were deployed in the Kursk region. In the winter, the Ukrainian Armed Forces captured 2 North Korean soldiers who fought in the Kursk region. They were taken to Kyiv, where SBU investigators worked with them. In January, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that one of the captured North Korean soldiers wanted to stay in Ukraine. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un authorized the deployment of armed forces to Russia's Kursk region, citing the need to uphold treaty commitments, according to a statement by the Central Military Commission of the Workers' Party of Korea. The commission said the move was based on an assessment by Kim that the situation met the conditions of Article 4 of the Treaty on Comprehensive Strategic Partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang. The article obliges mutual military support if either party is attacked by an external force. It said military activities by North Korean troops in Russia fully conform to all the provisions and the spirit of the UN Charter and other international laws. On Saturday, the Kremlin announced that Russian forces had driven out Ukrainian troops from Kursk. Russian Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov thanked North Korean soldiers who fought shoulder to shoulder with Russian servicemen.
Ukrainian troops expect Moscow to launch a summer offensive, saying they are very frustrated by US peace efforts, The Guardian reports. On Ukraine's northeastern front, near the Oskol River, a Ukrainian artillery unit prepares to hold off a new wave of Russian advances. Under cover of trees and camouflage nets, soldiers prepare an old Soviet howitzer for another strike. "We're ready," exclaimed artilleryman Yuri. The commander ordered "fire," and a shot split the air. Once popular with holidaymakers, these places have now become a battlefield. The enemy is trying to cross the Oskol River to seize the R79 highway leading to strategic Kupiansk and then encircle Kharkiv. Our task is to prevent them from crossing the river. We do this by shelling their logistics in the rear, explains Captain Syrskyi from the 1st Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine, Burevi. According to him, in recent months, the Russians have significantly reduced their attempts to transfer equipment. Their pontoon bridges are destroyed immediately. Drones are used against enemy equipment, some of which sink during attempts to form a river. Bodies of Russian soldiers lie next to the burned vehicles. Artilleryman Yuri says, "Sometimes they take their dead, sometimes they don't. The dogs eat their remains. A lot of Russians died. We like it." The front line is constantly changing. The battles are taking place in fields and destroyed forest belts. The Russians have changed their tactics, using not only BMP but also ATVs, motorcycles, even civilian cars. Often they take up a position. We counterattack and retake it. It's back and forth. There's no significant progress, says Syrskyi. Despite US efforts to end the fire, Moscow continues to fight. Putin announced a ceasefire on Victory Day, but he broke similar promises on Easter. Although Russia had some successes last fall, its advance has now slowed. The main activity continues in the Donetsk region. In Pokrovsk, Ukrainian troops have stabilized the situation. In Konstantinovka, the enemy is advancing. Putin, ignoring Donald Trump's appeal, "Vladimir, stop," wants to seize the region entirely. The Ukrainian military called the US proposed solution to the conflict, which envisages concessions to Moscow, in particular Crimea and 4 other regions, a dangerous precedent. One of the soldiers said, "It legitimizes the redistribution of territory by force and opens a Pandora's box for the world. This is our country. Trump should not decide where our borders lie." After the recent fighting, Dvorechnaya was reduced to ruins. Local resident Evgeny told how his neighbor Vladimir died from his wounds without receiving medical care. "We took the body to the barn, but did not have time to bury it. Later, we ran away on foot to Kutkovka." According to Kupiansk Mayor Andrei Besedin, the area is under constant shelling, 1,500 strikes per month. Despite the lack of basic conditions, about 750 people remain in the fire zone. Some soldiers are expecting a Russian offensive this summer. Whenever they see weakness, they take what they can, says drone operator Alex. Another military official said the US peace initiatives were quite disappointing. Zelensky is forced to balance international politics with the real threat of another invasion.